But if there's one thing I can tell you of everything else we talked about, do not look at your email. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Ronin Leadership Podcast. This is Mike Howard. We have been on a hiatus. A lot of things have been going on this summer, a lot of personal issues we've been dealing with, but everything's good. And really appreciate your patience. We do have some guests lined up very soon, and we'll be able to get back to our interview format, and looking forward to seeing these guests. But thanks to all of you for subscribing to this channel and for helping it to continue to grow. And we also want to thank all of you for who supported me in my writing. I'm currently in the process of writing the third Jack Trench thriller, and I would say 3/4 done. So hopefully be done by next month and get it out. But please go to MikeHowardAuthor.com. You see the link here on the site, on the podcast, and please click the like button and the subscribe button and tell your friends about the podcast, and really appreciate all your support during this time. One of the things I want to talk about today, and this won't be a long podcast, but it's just something that I've been thinking about for a while. We have had a few friends, unfortunately, that have passed away in the last several months. And all of us, I'm sure, have experienced some loss, whether it's a relative, mother or father, or what have you, sibling. But at the end of the day, it brings into mind perspective. And so as you go through your day, I want to give you some practical tips to deal with whatever pressures you're going through, I should say. A lot of you who are listening to this are still working, whether you're before your retirement or whether you're still consulting after retirement. So there's still a lot of pressures on you in the working world that you're dealing with. Just the pressure of having to get up in the morning and maybe having to commute, or dealing with a difficult business decision, difficult clients, difficult bosses, problem employees, budget issues, HR issues. It just goes on and on and on, And so one of the things that you want to do is be able to tackle these things head on, not just from a business perspective, but from a mindset perspective, right? There's a lot of people, I think, that get up every morning, they grab their cup of coffee, and they head out and to start the day. And the first thing they do in the morning is they look at their phones. They look at their smartphones, and they're looking at the stock market, or they're looking at the news. And of course, it's typically, a lot of times, it's negative, right? And that's the wrong way to start your day. Your mindset is just totally shot by then, because you're already, before you even get out of bed, you're already thinking about all the bad things that are going on in the world, all the bad things that you're probably gonna have to deal with in the office, or when you get online and you start your Zoom calls or what have you. So what you want to do is, there's a way to prepare for the day, so that doesn't negate the fact that you're going to run into problems. You are. And that's just a given. That's just part of life. But what I can say is that you can better prepare your mind to deal with whatever's coming ahead. So rule number one, and it's hard, I know it's hard, but rule number one is do not look at your news feeds, and do not look at your email as soon as you get up. Those of you especially who are working, this is probably more apropos for you, but I think it works for everybody. But for you, definitely, you want to pick up that smartphone and you want to look at that email. Don't. What I do is I try to get my mind prepared for the day, so that whatever the day brings, whatever pressures and issues, I'm better prepared mentally to deal with it. So First thing I do is, and again, you can do variations of this, but I try to, besides the spiritual aspect of praying and reading a little bit of the Word in the morning, I journal. There's an app called Journal, but there's plenty of apps you can do. And in a lot of these apps, what I do is it starts off with, what are the 3 things that you're most grateful for today? So you wake up and you consciously think about, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for waking up in a warm bed, or that I have a roof over my head. Every day you can think of at least 3 things that you're grateful for. And you jot these down and you put it, for me, I do it online in an app. And then it just kind of prompts you to, what are the things that you want to get accomplished today? Kind of low-hanging fruit. Make these things that are specific, that you can actually accomplish. I'm going to cold plunge today. I'm going to do some writing today. I'll read the Bible today. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to try to whatever it is I want to do. I want to read 2 chapters of a book I've been reading. Whatever it is, make it low-hanging fruit, stuff that you know you're going to get through, you're going to accomplish, right? And then the third part of this particular app, but you can do it on a piece of paper or whatever, is just to jot down words that are subconsciously are going to help you through your day. I am happy. I am gratified. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm healthy. I'm blessed. I have great friends and family. Whatever it is you want to put down. But it takes no more than probably 5 minutes or so to do this. But it gets your mind thinking about the things that you're grateful about first. It's not about, the market plunged, or the stupid politics between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, or, crime or immigration and all that other kind of stuff, right? Or threats of recession, or what's the Fed going to do? It's all about, what are you grateful for? What are you thankful for? What are the things that you think you're going to accomplish today? And putting words into your subconscious that are going to really, really help you with your mindset, your inner peace, right? And so definitely do that. One of the things you can do also is on a piece of paper or even on that app, you got those 3 things that you're grateful for. When you're running into a problem at work, when you're running into some situation and it's something unexpected, it happens and it's like, oh gosh, this is a setback. Refer back to this, okay? Doesn't make this situation go away. You're still going to have to deal with it. But you are at least going to be able to look back and say, okay, in the midst of this crap that I'm dealing with, oh wow, I am thankful for these things. I have these things to be grateful for. It's good to refer to it throughout the day. And it's hard. Sometimes you'll forget because you're in the midst of business. You're just going to be doing your thing, but you've got this handy to refer to, and just keep it with you throughout the day. Another thing you can do, and it's been tested and it's tried and true, is to take a walk, right? There were many times at Microsoft when I was chief security officer, when I would just leave the office. I was lucky. I had an office. It was on the 5th floor, which is the executive level, and I had an office right by the stairwell. So it was a nice office, had windows and nice view, but I could go in there and just escape and go down the stairwell. And it would be good just to take a walk if things were, I just need to clear my head. Something bad happened, or whatever the situation I was dealing with. At least I could just go take a walk for 10, 15 minutes or so, and then come back. And it's amazing what a walk will do. And luckily, the Microsoft campus is beautiful. You're surrounded by trees and the wonderful landscaping. And yes, while it can be cold a lot of the time in the Seattle area, you just wear a jacket, just go outside. And the point is that it helps clear your head. So rather than sitting in the office, stewing over a situation, get outside, walk, breathe in some fresh air, get some perspective, right? And then come back and tackle the situation. Again, the problems are always still going to be there. You're still going to have to deal with it one way or the other. But these are just techniques that you can use to make your day better, to approach the day in a way that will maximize your ability to overcome and adapt to whatever situation is presented your way, rather than the woe is me and all this other kind. And we all, trust me, I do the same thing. I can get angry, I can get frustrated, and all these other kind of things. But I try to find these techniques, these hacks, if you want to call them that, that will help maximize your ability to deal with the stress of the day. The other thing is breathing. Breathing is very important. Now, those of you who've been following this channel for any period of time know I like to cold plunge. I've been cold plunging for a better part of a year now, and it's just become part of my daily routine. One of the things you learn to do when you're plunging is you have to control your breath. When you get into water, and today, for instance, I did 7 minutes at 43 degrees temperature. I don't care how many times you do it. As soon as your body, your torso hits that water and it gets up to your neck, your body goes whoosh. You're taking this deep breath and you're trying to control your breathing. Your heart rate's going up, your breathing is shallow. And one of the things you learn is to practice this deep breathing in and out, so that you calm your body down. So your body goes from what they call a sympathetic response, which is the fight or flight, right? This is that response that tells you, get away, danger, 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 to the parasympathetic response, which is, I'm okay, I can handle this, I'm calm. And it's amazing how, if you do cold plunging, for instance, for a period of time, you can just see when the switch gets flipped, right? When you get in and your body's in a fight or flight mode, and you're taking breaths and you're controlling your breaths to the point, and then all of a sudden it flips and you're calm. You're still in 43 degree water. You still want to get out. Your body still tells you it wants out because it's trying to fight it, but you're calm and you manage it and you're able to build your resiliency. And so I'm not saying everybody needs to cold plunge. That's not for everybody. Trust me, I've had enough friends that have told me that, nah, it's not for them. But the breathing, that's something you can do. One of the things Navy SEALs do, they learn this technique. There's a lot of them go to this school. It's kind of pre-basic underwater demolition school, where it kind of preps them physically, mentally for BUD/S, the actual training that they have to go through, and Hell Week and all that stuff that we've all heard about. But they learn this box breathing technique where you, in order to calm yourself down in a stressful situation, where you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, and then you breathe out for a count of 4. So it's called box breathing. And you do this 3 or 4 times or whatever, and I've tried it out myself while I'm cold plunging, right? There's actually a protocol I've been following from one of the founders of Plunge, because I bought this thing from a company called Plunge. They make a lot of different products, cold, plunge immersion tubs. And I bought one, but they come out with different training techniques and protocols, and they came out with one recently that you could download, and working with Huberman Labs, Andrew Huberman out of Stanford, and a lot of you know I'm a big fan of his. Go check out his podcasts and his content. The way he approaches science and making your body better through science is amazing. So check that out. But one of the protocols that they came up with is to get into that water and immediately put your head underneath the water and come up, so it's cold as hell, and then you start your box breathing for 3 or 4 iterations. That helps obviously you're controlling your breathing there. It's regulating your stress. And I got a couple smartwatches now, but one of my smartwatches, I actually, as soon as I get in and dunk my head, I check out my heart rate. And usually the heart rate's about over 100. As I start the box breathing, I can literally see my heart rate go down. Then 80, then it gets down to the 70s. And what I want to try to shoot for is like the 60s, upper 50s, or 60s thereabout. That shows that I've got, almost a 40% or 40 beat drop in my heart rate in a matter of seconds while I'm in the middle of this cold water. So my point is that when you run into a stressful situation at work, maybe you're going into a stressful meeting, maybe you're trying to make a budget request in front of your boss or a controller or a CFO, or in my case, I was trying at one point to, and I didn't know this technique at the time. I relied on my old martial arts training of breathing deeply into like 2 inches below your belly button, breathing in. But I remember having to go to a meeting where we were making an ask for our Global Security Operations Center, and it was a huge ask. I think it was like $25 million. And it was I and another, it was a counterpart or a peer from Real Estate Facilities. They were making an ask for an expansion of the campus there in Redmond, Washington. I was going for an ask, and I was in front of Steve Ballmer, the CEO at the time, because Gates had just left. And nerve-wracking, yeah, it was. And I had prepped for months for this meeting, but we did it. But I do remember prepping myself physically before that. Had I known this box breathing method, it would have been much better. We did get the ask. We were approved. But my point is, whether it's something like that, or a staff meeting that you're dealing with, or a speech you're getting ready to do, or a hard conversation you got to have with a boss or a peer or one of your direct reports, try this box breathing. Breathe in 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and do that over a period of time. It will help deal with whatever situation that you have. Again, I keep repeating myself because I think this is an important thing to remember. The problem is still going to be there. That speech, that stage that you're about to take is still going to be there. That audience is still going to be there. That executive and that controller, that CFO that you're about to talk to and try to get an ask for, still going to be there. They're not going away. But your ability to manage your emotions, manage your anxiety, your heart rate, you can hack that through breathing, right, and concentrating, so that you're better able to deal with the hard questions, the hard conversations, whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? And one thing I remember from Stoicism, there's a philosopher named I think Seneca, that said that we suffer more in our imagination than we do in reality. And that's true. So whatever situation you're dealing with, you probably have exaggerated it by tenfold. Breathing kind of brings that back down to normal. The last thing I'll talk about is, at the end of the day, you get home, and maybe you're getting ready to watch TV or getting ready to go to bed. One of the things I do is I try to do, I'm not good at it every day, but I'd say 80% I'm pretty good, is on that same journal app, but again, it could be a piece of paper that you use. You look at the end of the day and you kind of look at the things you're grateful for. And then what you want to do is write down the several things that you've accomplished that day. And what are the things that you learned, right? Whether it was a bad situation or a positive situation, there's always a learning opportunity there. So what have you learned today, right? And that could make you better prepared for tomorrow, right? And so it's a bookend. You start your day with gratitude and the things that you intend to accomplish, and these subconscious words and phrases that help you kind of define your day. You end your day with, again, being grateful, but also what are the things you've accomplished. And, how are you feeling, and what have you learned this day that has made your day a better day? So these are just ways I think you can approach a day with mindset. Marcus Aurelius, another kind of I guess he would be considered the guru, the godfather of Stoicism. There are a lot of Stoics, Epictetus, Seneca, but Marcus Aurelius is the one that people tend to talk about more than anything else, because he wrote this book, Meditations, which is, I keep a copy here, given to me by a good friend, Chuck Randolph, way back in the day. But there are a lot of, I've been reading recently where you might have heard of James Mattis, retired Marine Corps general. They used to call him Mad Dog. He was actually part of Trump's administration, but he left because, like a lot of military leaders, they got tired of him. But he used to carry a copy of Meditations with him on every combat deployment. But Marcus Aurelius did talk about the fact that every day when he woke up, he knew he was going to be dealing with difficult people, difficult circumstances. Remember, he was the emperor of Rome, and he was a good emperor, but he was dealing with, like a lot of us who are in leadership positions, we're going to be dealing with bad people sometimes, backstabbers, connivers, people who try to undercut you, difficult people, difficult circumstances, but you are prepared, right? The whole thing was that this is going to happen, so you prepare yourself. What I'm giving you here today are just some ways where you can help yourself deal with the day better. And I hope it works for you. There are probably a lot of other ways you can get yourself prepared for the day, but if there's one thing I can tell you of everything else we talked about, do not look at your email as soon as you get up. And I've been there. I was a chief security officer at Microsoft for 16 years. Our bread and butter was information. We need to know what was going on around the world. And it's easy to take that smartphone and look at email first thing in the morning. But I figured if the balloon went up, I'd know about it soon enough. I'd get a phone call or something like that. So I would rather deal with that than a bunch of emails right off the bat. So try that. Let me know how it works for you. Love your feedback on it. So leave comments, please. Again, really want to thank all of you. Please tell your friends and family and other people about this channel so they can subscribe. We've got some good content coming. Go to MikeHowardAuthor.com. You'll be able to find a link to all the books. I've written 2 leadership books. One of them is out on audio. I've got 2 fiction novels, Blood Promise and Full Circle. They're coming out on Full Circle has been out on audio, and Blood Promise is now out on audio. So if you rather listen to books like a lot of you do on Audible, you can get them on Audible, and there are links on our website to that too. So thank you very much, and I'll get back at you soon with some new content. Bye.